Hi guys, Arindam here, and in my final video on Aberration Ascended, I am going to give you a tour of my base on single player. So, as you can see, my base is already behind me and it is a pyramid. In fact, it is an updated version of the exact same design that I did on ARK Survival Evolved in my previous 100% playthrough. And in this video I'm going to give you a tour of my entire base. I'm going to be telling you the various design elements, and I'm going to be telling you and showing you what are the different dinos I've tamed, including my 100 damage mutations Megalosaurus. So I have done 3 playthroughs on Aberration, and it just so happens that on every single playthrough I have always decided to put my base on this location, this exact location, around the 41 by 48.8 mark. Let me show you where I am at. Let me first disable the tracking for my Bilzy before. For some weird reason this tracking is still going on. So I'm going to disable and enable it. Alright, so this is the center of my base, and it's at coordinates 41.6 by 50.6. Let me show you exactly how my base looks from the various sides. So this is my base. Now as you can see, it's a pyramid, and why I have made it a pyramid? Because it is supposed to resemble an aliens versus predator type pyramid, where the predator is actually supposed to be worshipped by humans. And my reason for using a pyramid on both of my playthroughs is simply because the Aberration map has rock drakes and reapers, which respectively which are respectively are the predator and alien of ARK. So my base originally started from this location. As you can see, it has the steampunk structure. So I came here, I got this explorer note, and I started my base over here, and I wanted to see how the steampunk structures look like. Apparently these are not to my taste. I did not like them too much. They're a bit too gaudy for my liking. But eventually this base was supposed to be a temporary base for this particular pyramid. The color combination of the pyramid is black on teal and fuchsia, and these two color combinations, these teal and fuchsia, are really very pretty colors, and they complement each other very nicely. And I have made these artifact as artifact of the shadows because the cyan coloring actually complements the teal coloring very well. Unlike the one that I had built on ARK Survival Evolved, I actually do not have a throne sitting here. I'm going to be showing you exactly what's there, but before that let me actually show you the main chambers first. So on ARK Survival Ascended, even on single player, you can actually access the Rockwell boss fights from tech transmitters, and that is why I decided to build a platform like this, where I can and instead of having to go down to the Rockwell terminal, I can access the boss fight from here itself. This is my front entrance. I have enemy invisible turned on, that is why I did not aggro anymore. Okay, I don't want that particular sound. Okay, it's fine. So this is effectively my front entrance. If I were to come inside, I'm going to see the 3 artifacts over here for the green, blue and the red zone. This is how it looks like, and this is the main entryway. So on ARK Survival Evolved, I had actually spawned in the trophies for the bosses I've beaten from Island, Scorched Earth and Aberration. But here I tried to not spawn in anything. So the entire pyramid, everything that you see here, all the trophies, every single thing, including the tech structures, including all the dozens of tech gateways, they have all been done legitimately without using any kind of spawn-ins at all. It took a lot of element actually to get this. So the green, blue and red represent the bosses on the gamma, beta and alpha difficulty. I have actually beaten the alpha and beta bosses a lot more times, but I have decided not to put it there. If we were to come here, we are going to see all of my primary dinos or my personal dinos. So I have my tech binocular over here. I don't need the binocular for this. So this is my aberrant bear, my aberrant frog, my aberrant ape and 3 of my ravagers. They all have very similar levels and very similar stats, only that the red one is designed for DPS, red and gold. The blue is my personal one and the green is the alternate one. As you can see, I have put all of the really important carrier traits on my blue one. And you might have already seen this ape on my artifact videos. This is the last thing that I actually bred, that's why it doesn't also have traits. I did not bother putting any traits onto it, and it has a really nice color, a bubblegum pink. On the other side you can see my rat, my roll rat. This guy has a lot of level ups on weight. My Doedicarus. Yes, so what you saw on the Doedicarus and the Anki, these saddle armors are well above the 124, because since they are resource gathering dinos, I don't need to have the 124 restriction for these guys. You may have already seen these two. These are my highly mutated Megalosauruses. This guy has 20 or 19 damage mutations. I confuse it with 20 every single time. And after I found out that it is possible to exceed 20 mutations and the mutation counter is not really that important, then I took a lot of time and eventually I came up with this guy. It has 100 damage mutations, 100. And you may have already seen the video in which with mate boost and imprint and rider riding it, I was able to get nearly 5000 damage on every single bite with my Megalosaurus. It's actually quite a lot powerful than a Carcharodonto or even a Giganotosaurus. So this is currently the most powerful creature that I have ever encountered and ridden. Much more powerful than my Giganoto. I'm hoping that on extinction I will be able to have a similar kind of program for Gigas or maybe even Tech Gigas and try to replicate some of the weird damage numbers that you see here. It is very powerful, by the way, and it has the best possible stats that you can also get. Vampiric, Numb, Too Angry and Aggressive. This guy is meant to take out and one hit most of the creatures, and this guy is a bit more defensive in nature. That is why you can see the tenacious traits. On the other side you get to see my Gigantoraptor. This guy is actually from the island map, and the Gigantoraptor, it may be a very pain to actually tame one, but once you get a high level tame like the one that I gotten over here, again ignore the saddle. So once I've gotten that, this guy can do really good imprints on wild babies and convert 140 150 wild babies to 209 to 24 tamed ones, which is really very helpful. On here you can see my personal Spinosaurus. Let me show you my personal Spino. This is the guy that I thought I'm going to be eventually using. In fact, this is the guy I used to get my first rock drake egg, and this guy served as my bodyguard. This is my stamina rock drake. As you can see, it's mentioned M228 stamina. This stamina drake is purposefully designed to travel the entire map on cloaking mode and especially get all of the surface drops, and most of its level ups have been put into stamina itself, but the saddle is still primitive. This was, I wanted to make it a more damage intensive one, but eventually it did not come out the way I wanted it to. Rock drakes, even though they have good base damage, they don't scale very well, and because of their slower attacks they are not really good for attack and damage. In here you see two of my primary rock drakes. So this is the rock drake I took for, as you can see it's mentioned boss. This is the rock drake I used for one of the Rockwell boss fights. It is using the exact same saddle. These two have the exact same color, by the way. As you can see, this is the my boss rock drake, and this guy is my primary creature on Aberration, and it's going to be one of the most important creatures on my entire ARK Ascended experience. This is my primary rock drake. It is supposed to do the exact same thing as an Argentavis on the other maps. That is why it is special, and I put a tech saddle on it. As you can see, it has all of my other things also. And you know, like when I talk about the difficulty for boss fights and artifact videos, I use official server caps, but when I'm doing resource harvesting or other activities, I completely ignore them. That is why you get to see all of these crazy things. Now let me show you what is inside these 4 chambers. So just like on ARK Survival Evolved, I have divided the pyramid into multiple quadrangles, and unlike Evolved, I actually have multiple floors. So on the ground floor, the first quadrangle is the primary quadrangle. So here I have everything. The color pattern is teal, fuchsia, black, as I mentioned. So I have all of my resource and utility and all of my gathering, everything is in this particular quadrangle. It's the nerve center of my entire base. My boss armors are all located here. You have seen them in my various Rockwell boss fights. I have not used the glowtail at all because my primary creatures have been my featherlight, this guy or girl, and my bulb dog. This is actually a wild one. The bulb dog, even though it's wild because of its good weight and charge capacity, I have been able to use it for multiple Rockwell boss fights. Some of the buildings that you see here, like the tech replicator, what I did was I have already completed Island and Scorched Earth, so I actually built out the tech elements on that map and transferred it over to this map, which enabled me to have tech items very soon, even before I do any kind of Rockwell boss fights, and that sped up the entire process very well. These are all of my storage. The blue is obviously my primary storage. Let me show you around. These are all the chibis I have unlocked from defeating Rockwell, chibi and the other skins. I have not used climbing peaks, and I have not used some of the other bobtail things like the goo gun and other things at all because they are useless, to be honest. This is this is the storage for all of my equipment like saddles, armor, ammo, weapons, etc, etc. Everything is there. This particular one, if you have seen my past videos on Islands Cost and even on my ARK Survival Evolved, you know this particular one is for dyes. So I have all the different dyes and I have made spray paints for every single one of them. Mind you, these are not spawned. I actually purpose built spray paint for every single one of them. I am guessing I am probably going to transfer them over to Extinction because I don't want to go through this process again. And there are like 127 colors. This is the library storage. I found the library storage much better than the bookshelf because it can hold more items and it just looks better. Now, on ARK Survival Evolved, I actually had wooden large storage boxes for each resource, but because I had farmed the island bosses a lot and have like over 1000 element on island, what I did was I killed lots of Karkinos on Aberration and harvested their bodies using my 754% chainsaw, which generated like thousands and thousands of organic polymer, transferred all that organic polymer over to island map, and using the element as well as the metal stored there, I was able to craft all of this, take dedicated storage. For the metal part, I actually have there is a really nice metal spawn, and I have actually done what I've done was let me show you the map. Look at this location over here, the metal underscore green part. If I were to come here, this is where I am currently at. Look at this location at 40.3 by 43.1. This location on the green zone has lots and lots of metal nodes, lots and lots of metal, and it's not very difficult to actually get also. You can, at best, you can take a Ravager or a Gigantopithecus, use a zipline to reach this location, and then you will be able to farm thousands and thousands of metal from this location itself. It's actually one of the revelations of the green zone, to be honest. So what I have done was I have placed a linked storage box at this location which is linked with this, and that is how I have been able to get all these various metal. So we have all the different, you can think of it not only as a resource collection part but also as kind of like a museum. So I have dedicated storage for practically all of the different types of resources, and as you can see, the amount of stone, fiber, hide, chitin I have collected is crazy. Even flint. It's kind of crazy if you look at the numbers. And yes, I have beaten Rockwell multiple times. You cannot transfer element from other maps, but because I have beaten Rockwell lots of times, and because I have an extensive craftable element network alongside around 10 different charge nodes, I have been able to gather a lot of elements from there. So every single time when I take some of these, all these 5, I can get to 10 of the charge nodes and get around 10 3s, 30 element in each run. Okay, so this is my tech replicator. You can see it already has a couple of them. Again, the color combination is teal on fuchsia. It's a really beautiful color, and because in ARK Ascended there is something good. There is a QOL feature that they have introduced, in which you can keep the resources on the dedicated storage, and if the corresponding structure is within range, then you don't need to actually put any resources inside them. You will be able to craft anything here. So let me show you. If I go into crafting, you can see that I can already craft them even though the inventory is completely empty, because it can take from these locations. And not only this, if I were to come here, I can also see that I can also craft stuff from my inventory. That is the advantage of using a dedicated storage. That is something that is present in Ascended but not in ARK Survival Evolved. These are all of my different fridges. The special one contains all of the different items, eggs, etc. We have one for normal meat. These are all color coded, by the way. I have a Google sheet, I have a spreadsheet in which I have mapped for each resource what will be the most appropriate color for them. That is why you can see that fish meat is this light version is actually called salmon, and I think I forgot the, I think it's called scab with salmon, and this one I think is red with Idocha tulip, I forgot. This is special meat, which is much more redder because of its special nature. It's mostly jerky. Spoiled meat, rotten meat will obviously be a bit more yellowish. Rare plants, which is basically these two. Advanced veggies, I have made sure that the advanced veggies colors are a bit more exotic. RGB berries, basically these are your original berries, the 4 types, and then you have from red, green, blue you get cyan, yellow, magenta, primary colors, secondary colors, the new berries. Black and white berries, and then the 4 types of mushrooms. So what was happening was, I was collecting a lot of mushroom, and I have a bad habit that I do not like to throw anything away, so I decided to have separate fridges for them. Finally, we have this extremely beautiful color that I have actually discovered on ARK. It is baby blue on bubblegum. It's actually a very childlike color, but I really extremely like this color combination. The bubblegum complementing the baby blue perfectly. I'm going to be using this color combination a lot, and it is for fertilized eggs. So as you can see, I have taken a lot of fertilized eggs, lots and lots of eggs. Look at them. The good thing about Ascended again is rock drakes can now be bred and imprinted properly. So you can actually get mutations for rock drakes, which was earlier not really possible. There are lots of these eggs. The last one is just for I don't know, something extra. I feel that this is one of the few things in which the Bob's DLC has really stand out, is this particular structure. So this is a industrial preserving bin. This is a significant improvement over a traditional preserving bin, and in fact I would say this is like a complete replacement. Once I have gotten an industrial preserving bin, I have no need for a traditional preserving bin, because there is a lot of problems with the normal preserving bin because it's very slow. But this guy is very fast. I have been able to get all these tons and tons of jerky just because of this industrial bin. This is one of my wild ravagers. So initially, before I had those bred and imprinted ones, I had tamed 4 of the ravagers, and that is why you can see they are all leveled up in weight. Again, another QOL feature is that now you don't need to have gasoline for grills and cookers to actually run. They can run on electricity also. Right now, that electricity is actually powered from a tech generator. This is my farm, so I have 4 each of the 4 advanced berries. We have our little guy over here, the beetle. We have the 3 things. I have actually taken the seed out of the other maps and transferred it over here. That is why you can see plant species X, Y, and finally plant species Z. And then we have the normal things. Note something, just look at the colors. Look at the colors for every single. So on ARK Ascended you can actually color the different crop plots. So I have put appropriate colors for every single one of them. That is why you can see that rockaroots, basically carrots, are color coded with orange. Corns are color coded with golden, basically like golden corn. This one I think is called savoroot. Savoroot is color coded I think with some variant of brown or mud because it's potato. And finally citronal is color coded with lime. Basically lime means lime, lemon, citronal, that thing, orange. These 3 are color coded in their respective maps colors. So we have green for the island, yellow for the deserts of scorched earth, and purple for the element infused aberration. For these ones you can see it's very easy for me to actually spot. So these 4 are tinto berries, These 4 are black, so they are narco berries. These 4 are steam berries because they are white. Now the blue one is um, azul berry. Sorry, this is actually not blue. It's actually some form of purple. It's actually, that's why mijo berry. This is the verdi berry. I had to be very careful about these two colors. This is the amar berry. This will be, these are the new ones, by the way. These are the original ones. So this is the what is called verdi berry, amar berry, cyan berry, azul berry, and that's it. So these are all the berries. I have placed a tech teleporter in each of the 4 or 5 floors that I have. Again, you would have seen this color combination on my island based tour video. So the blue is obviously my personal one. The red, green, blue, the second one is for boss fights because bosses represent gamma, beta, alpha, which is red, green, blue. The bubblegum one is obviously the bubblegum with baby blue is the breeding pairs, again corresponding to that. It's very easy to understand that this one looks something close for babies and other things. This is for others and this is for empty grapple. Let me show you what I have. So these are all the creatures I have from my other map, including my Carcharodontosaurus. What I did find out was that Carcharodontosaurus or Deinosuchus, those creatures that do not have a corresponding aberrant variant, they actually cannot be taken out of the cryopod. That is why even though I can take out a normal baryonyx or a normal frog, I cannot do it for the Carcharodontosaurus. I wanted to have a boss army of Megalosaurus and Spinosaurus, but eventually I gave up because I could easily beat the Rockwell boss without any kind of army. These are my breeding pairs, essentially the mom and dad for every single of my creatures. For example, this is the one for my Equus, mom and dad, and they're color coded. They're exactly made like this, roll rat mom, roll rat dad kind of thing. These are all the other creatures that came out of the breeding process or some other creature that I have no use for. For example, this one, I just took them for no particular reason and then I just abandoned them. This is my gene scanner, as you can see. Okay, you can see there is a lot of these traits. Lot of, look at the amount of traits I have. I have done a lot of farming of traits, by the way. Okay, so this was one first quadrant. Next, go to the, okay, I'm going to ignore this quadrant for now. So on single player, there are multiple goals that a person can actually have. One of the goals will obviously be to defeat the bosses, capture the artifact caves. An additional goal that I had given to myself on Ascended was I am going to tame every single creature of the map. So my goal in Aberration was I would tame every single creature that is new to Aberration Ascended. So all of the aberrant tames and the special ones. And that is what I've tried to accomplish and put in these particular ones. So we have 2 Carchinodes, we have the Reaper. Okay, yes, something important I'm going to tell you. Pay attention. Look at the name of the Reaper. Reaper 1 level 233. So when this Reaper was born, it was actually born at level 233, which is above what you guys know, like 224, 225 is generally the max. But that is not how it works for Reapers, Reaper breeding on Aberration Ascended. So it just so happens that if you were to check Reddit, let me pause. If you were to go to Reddit, you are going to find that people have made a really good formula, and that formula can allow you to understand what will be the level of your Reaper when it goes out of your heart, after basically when your Reaper, after your Reaper queen impregnates you. So the formula essentially in short means you need to be, if you want to get a Reaper that is max leveled, then you compulsorily need to be ensuring that your own player level has to be minimum 150. So the formula is kind of like 150 some your current player level minus 150 into some value. So if your player level is 150, then that part becomes 150 minus 150 of 0. Now in that case you are going to get a Reaper that is spawning at 150, and then when you get all of the levels for it, then 150 plus 75 becomes 225. Perfect. That is how we are used to it. So your player level has to be 150. But here's a catch. Look at my level. My level is 165. So this particular Reaper that you see here, this is a Reaper I tamed. I actually tamed after I did the Alpha Rockwell boss fight, after I went to this particular level. So I was actually level 165 when I did the process for the Reaper Queen. And because of that, when I actually had when the actual impregnation actually happened, then there was this icon in this location that was going to say how many additional levels you're going to have based on your XP. But there was a multiplier, and that multiplier for me was 1.06. that is the exact number. So I did get 75 levels by getting the max XP. I killed that Reaper Queen. It was a very high level Reaper Queen. I killed it, so I instantly got 75 levels. But because I had the multiplier of 1.06, I actually got more than 75 levels for this particular Reaper. And why did I get the multiplier of 1.06? Because my player level was 165. So 165 minus 150 is 15. So I had that extra 0.06 was because of the extra 15 levels I had. So if you actually have, say, beaten all of the maps, and say your levels are like level 200 plus, then you will be getting an even higher Reaper. This is a very important information that you guys may not even know. Just wanted to clarify. So, but the Reaper is mostly a trophy tame. I think I'm going to be using this Reaper only on Genesis Part 2 against Rockwell Prime much later on. These are some of the additional creatures that I have gotten, like the Basilisk, another Rock Drake, Karkinos. I have not used Karkinos at all on this map. It's very strange. And I actually tamed a aberrant Diplodocus and an aberrant Paraceratherium. They are just trophy dinos. They don't do anything. This is my breeding center, where I have, these are all the various, let me show you, all the various apes. You can see age 54 standing for 54 points in health, 48 in damage. This, I bred these two to get this one, then I combined it with W51, these two to get this one, and I combined this with this to get this final one, and like this, and eventually I got mom and dad over here. Same thing I did for these two stegos. I did not bother breeding these ones, and these are some of the other ravagers I have. Underneath this is a ton of air conditioners, and this is mostly like food. Okay, I'm gasping for breath. I'm a bit tired now already. Now let me show you the other important chamber. So this is my egg farm for basic kibble, simple kibble, I think regular kibble, superior kibble, and then I think I found out that rock drakes actually do not lay eggs. So for extraordinary kibble, I actually have to get the kibbles from the island map from my Uranus. These are my mom and dad bear. Healings are useless. Very very simple and straight answer. Healings are useless. So um, and okay, let me be very honest with you guys. uh, I actually have tamed this guy and this guy. These two guys I've actually tamed properly, and it was a pain to tame them. I wanted to really do a lot of mutations on Eelings and get really nice colorful ones, but I gave up. After this, whenever I found a high level Eeling which was bothering me, instead of killing it, I just force tamed it. That is why you can see that I have not put efforts to actually name them. With only this is a baby coming out of these two. But other than that, these are all force tamed versions. They look really nice, but they are annoying. They are, and after taming, they are useless. I have literally no use for them. I think I found Archaeopteryx much more useful than Yeelings. These guys are just slightly more useful than say a Trudon or a Microraptor, but they are more or less useless to me. I'll never be using them. That is why I never proceeded with breeding. The Oviraptor captures all the eggs for the different creatures. Before I go up, I'm going to show you what's underneath. So I actually took a lot of effort to build this. Look at this. This is my basement, entirely done in white, and this is where, and I made it white just to ensure that there it's looks bright, and the water's greenness really complements the white part. This is my swimming pool where I have tamed all of the other creatures using a combination of normal tame as well as fish baskets for the fishes. So we have Sarcosuchus, really nice Sarcosuchus, two of them. We have the various frogs. My personal frog was taken from these guys eventually after some mutations also. In the water we have, I actually did tame them, by the way. Imagine, I actually tamed Electrophorus, Diplocolus, Manta, and I have tamed these guys also. I have tamed, in fact my angler is over here. Let me show you my personal angler. This is my personal angler. I took this guy to the Great Lake to farm, to get a lot of silica pearls for electronics, by the way. I used fish baskets to get these huge fishes. Look at the size of the coelacanth. You can actually ride the coelacanth. It's bigger than the angler. Look at the size of this coelacanth. Another really big coelacanth. Piranha. In fact, this coelacanth is so big. The coelacanth is so big that it is actually possible for the coelacanth to eat the piranhas. So here the piranhas look like little annoyance compared to the coelacanth. They look like big whale and couple of small sharks. Even the saber-toothed salmons are not as big as the coelacanth. Amazing, isn't it? Same with the trilobite. And I have also gotten a lamprey, by the way. This is a lamprey. These guys don't eat, unfortunately. This is a very nice place. So if I were to go below, it's actually the waterfall going down. So I wanted it to be kind of like an overlook. Now let's go up. On the next floor, you're going to see my Megalosaurus mutations. So I had actually previously covered this in my Megalosaurus video, but I'm going to give you a glimpse again. So these two beetles are there just to collect the different feces coming out of all these Megalosaurus, and they are already full, if I am dead to believe. Yes. and I made these as tech ceilings so that if I were to take out some of the ones that I don't need, like some of the babies, then when I actually use my sword, it doesn't damage the stone structure. That is why I made them tech. These are clean females, as you can see, clean females. And see, they have melee mutable and melee robust stats. 3 mutable, 2 robust, and this is how I have been able to get the mutations in a really nice way. Yes, this is the little shortcut that I just showed you, by the way. This is the mutated male. One of the mutated males. So the final one currently is there on a, I think on that cryo fridge. So this is one of the. I put this guy over here just because he's very colorful and showy for the particular video, but this is not the final one, by the way. It just looks really nice. So I did not plan on having an entire floor just for the megalos like this, but eventually so many megalos came with so many colors that I could not resist. Look at how beautiful the colors are, and these things, I think, okay, let me actually do this. Let me actually use the fly command. So these megalos, they actually started from here. Let me take this guy out. So it actually started from this megalo. This is the first megalo I have. Damage 49, health 52, and combine them to get this. Then stamina 48, this. So it started from here. Then it went up till there. Then it came here. After it came here, then it came there, like this. And eventually, I think not here. So after this, it came there. So from there, it came here, then here. Finally, up till that was the end one. So now I'm going to take this. Look how crazy it looks, and I have made sure that they don't actually look at me. So it looks like a really nice line. So many colors. Actually, there are a lot more megalos, but I mean, if I start putting every single of my megalos here, then I think eventually my what actually was happening was, since I have put so many megalos, I think there are over 100 plus megalos in this particular room, the FPS was actually dropping quite a bit, and the sound of all these megalos was causing a lot of problems for me. So eventually I decided to not have any more megalos like this, so I'll just put them into the cryopod some other place. This is kind of a shortcut, by the way. If I want to go, then I can essentially drop down here. Just a little shortcut. This place was for my light pets, basically the different feather lights I have, and my Cosmo I have not used, by the way. I know they have their uses, like trying to be like Spider-Man, but I have not used them. As part of my quest to tame every single creature on Aberration, I have tamed them and I have put them over here. The ones that you saw underneath were the large ones, and the ones that can be fit in this room, I have fit here. They are all aberrant variants, by the way. Let me show you. Yes, every single creature is here, and no, I have not force tamed them. They are actually tamed properly. I actually invested a lot of time to actually tame them, and that is why While I finished Scorched Earth in I think around 18 days, it has taken me well over 2 months to reach this point on Aberration. So Aberration has actually taken me 3 to 4 times of Scorched Earth and over twice that of the island map. That is not how it should have been. So if I had not invested my time like this, then I would have beaten Aberration in maybe 2 weeks itself. This is the most difficult creature to tame on Aberration, I believe. The Aberrant Phaseolasuchus. Or I think, and well, not I think, this is the only creature that I actually force tamed. So I am not going. So Phaseolasuchus is a very annoying tame, like most of the tames that have come to Ascended, including Yeelings, and I simply don't want to go through the process of taming another one after the horrifying memories of Scorched Earth, and that also with Surface Reaper King. So I actually force tamed this guy. I did not even bother to think of taming it in a straight way. The thing is, I'm never going to be using a Phaseolasuchus. Just like the Healing, it's a trophy dino. It has no other purpose than being just another creature that is present on ARK Ascended. Okay, now let's go up. This part is actually the part that looks like the Aliens vs Predator film. So I've actually taken the time to make it look like that, and this is something that you might recall if you check out my equivalent ARK survival evolved video for Predator Pyramid. Why? Because look at this. This is the sacrificial chamber. This is the sacrificial chamber of AVP, in which sacrifices were actually sleeping there, and the face hugger was coming out of these vessels. And I've intentionally made it slightly claustrophobic. So once I come here, I get this particular box with all the different things. These are actually from Extinction, and they are supposed to be put into the Battle Rig AP SUVs. I don't know what they are, 4x4 vehicles, but I have actually used them over here. They are mostly annoying, like I have like 178 of them, but some of them actually look pretty nice, and I put them on the shelf over here. They give it actually makes you feel like this is a Predator pyramid in which the Predator have actually collected trophies, and Predator Yautja, they actually collect trophies and they place the trophies on these kind of things. So on that regard, this has served it well. I just wish there was a way for me to actually color the different bones. I would have colored them dark red. Now we are going up to the final level. This is the peak of the pyramid. And I have placed a flag over here. So that is how my base looks like from the periphery. Let me give you one more glance. There is also a really nice viewing pavilion over here, just so that I can exit. Alright. Now before I actually end my base tour, let me show you where the metal actually spawns. Can I actually go? Yes. So we're going to come here. This was not supposed to be part of this video, by the way, but I still put because I found it interesting enough. So I'm going to come here, come here, then I have to go up. See this line over here that I've actually made a zip line. I think it's pretty dark so you cannot see it. So I've actually made a zip line over here. This is the zip line, by the way. Yes, this is the zip line, and this is a small base that I have built, which has a generator and a linked storage box. Currently the generator is okay, it's still turned on. Why? Because this place has a ton of metal. Look at the metal. Metal 1, metal 2. There is all over metal there. There is metal in this entire location is full of metal. See? This entire location is full of metal. Alright, so yeah, that is, I think, more or less it for my base tour of Aberration. I can't believe Aberration is finally over. It has taken a long time to actually finish the map, and I'm ready for extinction. So yeah, in the next video I'm actually going to show you how I'm going to transfer my character from Aberration to extinction and show you the extinction cinematics which is starting. So till then, stay tuned. Thank you for watching.